Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Jason Hardy with Elite Barbecue Smokers, and this is Barbecue Roundtable. We got a great group of guests tonight that's going to show up, and we have a lot of fun with this. But before we do that, do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe to our channel. If you're on YouTube, check it out and subscribe to our channel. Also, you're on Facebook, share it with your friends and families. If you got any questions tonight, make sure you ask them down below and let us know, because we're going to have a lot of fun, get to know a lot of people, and have a good time with this. So all that being stated, I'm going to bring them on. Let's get this show started. Maybe I can learn how to talk one day. Oh, let's move you over here. There we go. Hey guys, how y'all doing tonight?
Good, Jason.
Good.
You are
Doing good. It's a good time.
Thank you for coming on the show tonight. We greatly appreciate that.
Appreciate you having us.
So we're gonna have a good time with a lot of questions and hopefully have a really good comments back and forth. But first thing we're gonna do, introduce yourselves and your team name.
good. All right, I'm Eric Lambeth, and this is John Adkins. We're Smoke Brew. That's our team name. We're from Asheboro, North Carolina.
So how long y'all been doing competition barbecue?
9 years. This is
9
the ninth
years.
year. Yep.
Cool.
Old school guys.
So did you start out in KCBS, or was there a local competition y'all started kind of to get your feet wet before you got into it, or
We went straight. We jumped straight in there, and got our butts handed to us quick.
Yeah. Asheboro had a contest, and first year, and we thought, man, we the best. We done seen it on TV. We done seen it in the backyard. We can go, and
we could.
Yeah, we were in the mud. We stuck in the mud.
Yeah.
So Asheboro was one of the contests that was a good contest.
Yeah.
But it was always had some crazy weather there.
Yeah. That first year it was cool. I mean, it was like
cold and rainy.
It was cold and rainy in August, first week of August, and it was. I mean, I don't think it got above 75 degrees. It was cool.
I wasn't there that year.
Yeah, and then before it has been like, brutal hot, and then we had like,
thank you, Steve.
Hey, buddy. Then we had like a whole, rain event thing one time, and they canceled all the music, and it was just us cooks, which was the weirdest contest ever.
Really?
We were the only body there all Friday was just the cook teams, and the police, and that was it.
I wasn't there for that one then.
So that was good, and that's when that contest was big. I mean, and it was a heavy hitting contest. I mean,
we didn't realize what we was getting.
Yeah, we had no idea at that time.
I guess a little backstory on that, Jason, is the way we even got started in it. I think he was going to ask that. If you want me to go with that,
go for it.
John and I, both of our oldest daughters, played travel softball. And we coached together and apart opposing teams, but we always ended up cooking for the team and smoking pork shoulders or pork butts or something. Everybody said it was the best ever. So, it got to our head how good it was, and we decided we'd compete, and the judges did not like it. But the softball team did.
Yeah. They hung around a while. The softball team hung around even after we went into cooking. There was no softball being played.
That's
right. They kept showing up.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Well, hold on a minute here, because we got Kent right here with Daddy Dutch Barbecue. Now, Kent's another YouTube guy, a good person, good friend of mine. He got his butt beat down a little Saturday, 6 ribs, 8 chicken, 4th overall. 4th overall ain't too bad there, Kent.
Yeah. That's good.
I mean,
we're good.
2nd ribs also, and got 15th chicken. So, I mean, 4th overall ain't too bad.
I'll
take 4th overall. Congratulations on that.
Yes, sir.
What they say, get your name called, it's all a good day.
Yeah, you're right about that. And that's why, you know how it is. Every time we post something or you post something, you always think, the people that got the name called, that's a big deal.
Ultimately, that's what you're at.
Yeah.
It's really funny whenever you, like this past weekend, it's pretty good cook, but we had a really good cook for us, but we got a 5th place trophy and you're posting it, and your friend's like, man, why are you posting a 5th place trophy? I said, you know how hard it is to get that 5th place trophy in chicken?
That's
you
right.
You don't have an idea about how hard it is. I'm proud of that 5th place chicken there. That was a good call. And we ended up doing pretty good, but y'all done awesome. But so your story, you kind of, like I said, travel baseball, travel softball, and so y'all were cooking for the family in the neighborhoods and stuff like that. And that's how you kind of got into the cooking itself. But prior to that, did y'all grow up cooking like I did at the hunting club, or is it just
I grew up cooking with my grandpa. My grandpa used to smoke a lot of hogs, shoulders. And when I was little, I was the guy. Well, my job was to take the bark off the wood. He said bark made it bitter. And so that's what I did when I was, 10, 11 years old. I was knocking the wood off the bark off the wood.
So now when you're saying you're cooking with your grandpa, was this the old school, like a cement blocks with a wire racks and stuff to hog on top of that? Or did y'all have a smoker? So y'all were doing the old school style.
Yeah.
And then you basically put it in a barrel to make charcoal and shovel charcoal underneath it to give it where it's going to cook even at?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the way you were kind of come up with cooking it?
Yep. And I just watched him, and, I loved it. I love the smell of smoke and meat and cooking and I mean,
and the camaraderie. I mean, people were all there. I mean, look at the people you met. I mean, those old timers you met, man. That's hard.
All the men
hard to forget
sitting around doing what we do now.
Yeah.
As a kid, I enjoyed that.
That is one of the methods that's probably the most intimidating as far as to cooking a whole hog that way. It's so intimidating to come out there and just see that process. But in reality, it's actually one of the simplest way to cook a whole hog. Because you then can sit there and take a shovel and put the coals right where you need it at, right under the hams.
That's right.
Whenever we doing it nowadays inside of the big pits we've got, well, the downside to that with the Carolina cookers, whatever else, is the whole cooker is the same temperature.
That's right.
And so we're having add bacon, add other meat to it to cool down the ribs, to cool down the bacon, so don't overcook. Whereas what y'all are doing, you actually can control so much more of the environment. It's actually an easier process to cook a whole hog that way.
Yeah, it was easier to control, but yet so uncontrolled. We was outside, it was windy and cold, but you just shoveled coals where it needed to be, where cold spots.
When I was growing up, I did the same thing, but what I didn't realize was I got to go to these things. Hey, Matt, I got to go to these things, and I got to play in the fire. I was a young kid, I thought, man, I get to play in the fire, in the barrel, put the wood in, and then old timers are just like, go over there and get it. Then, hey, get a shovel full and bring it back over here and throw it in. I had no idea I was cooking whole hog. I didn't know that. All I knew was I was playing in the fire. And so, but the same thing where I grew up in North Carolina was like that. And we did it. And, it's just, it sunk in, I guess. Yeah. It sunk in. And, so, I didn't know there was a passion there until I got into what we're kind of doing now. And all of a sudden I realized that, maybe I had a passion for this, and that's what it takes. You know that, Jason.
I know that.
It takes a passion.
It takes an addiction.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Exactly.
And you have a competitive nature. You got to have that too.
That's right.
Most expensive thing you ever do, get that first call.
Yes.
Get that first call.
We were hooked from Tilly's. The next contest we cooked after we started, we was at Tilly's. And so I'm going to go ahead and mention it, but Tommy Houston was cooking beside of us at Asheboro. Well, after that first cook and he saw our scores, saw what we did, he watched us the whole time. And I think Tommy won that contest.
Yeah, he did.
He did. And, we were super excited for Tommy. We'd never met him in our lives, but, we was already excited for him. And he told us then, he said, boys, y'all got to make a decision. Either y'all gonna come down here and party and have a big time, or you're gonna cook some barbecue.
You can get serious.
He said, so whenever you make that decision, you'll be okay. But make sure you make that decision. And so I don't know that we did it the next contest, but down the line we did.
Yeah.
And it's changed things. But we got a call at Tilly's, got a 7th place chicken on a Weber Smoky Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And
chicken we bought on the way over there.
Yeah, chicken we bought on the way over there. And we were hooked. And we were done. That was it. Never looked back.
But speaking about Weber Smoky Mountain, Smoke Me Silly still cooks their chicken on that today. And they
great smoker. Yeah, I can believe it.
So a lot of people still use that smoker. So if you got those come out there, you still compete in barbecue because it's just a smaller version of a drum.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly right.
But we need to back up here a second. We need to let Mr. West here congratulate him on his GC. And I think Alan on radar said master sandbagger of himself is Mr. West here. I'm going to hope we get him on the show in the future. So I'm going to go more in that in the future here. So
all right.
Be prepared, Wes. Just be prepared. But that was a good cook. But Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Good evening, everybody. We got some good, really good cooks in there. But like I said, that first call, first you got that first call, it's like, all right, now you can get serious.
That's right. That's right.
I mean,
It
before that,
wasn't even about the money. It was nothing to do with any money that you won.
Robert said first call is Salisbury.
Yeah.
That is Tilly's.
That is Tilly's.
in
Yeah,
Salisbury.
Tilly's Salisbury. Yeah.
So I got a curiosity question for you with that. So I lost my train of thought a little bit, but that first call when you all got serious in there, but dadgummit, lost my train of thought.
All right.
But when you got that first call in there, the first chicken call, and it kind of just come into the situation like, all right, we're gonna really start focusing on this and kind of get into it, and you got to get that addiction to that first call, and then you find out the next one it kind of gets a little more challenging to get them. And over the years, the level of competition has just went up a notch.
Oh yeah,
The way it is now,
everybody cooks good.
oh.
Yeah,
Ain't no ducks.
Oh man, it is.
What's
It's
up?
just gotten more and more challenging over the years to get competition, and it's been crazy with that.
Yeah. It took us several years to kind of figure all that out, that how to get better. And, a bunch of people told us to go take classes and And it took us years before we did that. And then we did it, and it took a while to fall into place. I don't know. So it was, but now it's here, we don't ever think anything about it like you. I mean, it's you go do it, you think about it, but it's not like it was.
Oh, that's the question I want to ask on there. When you're looking at contests to go to, do you even look at the payouts?
we look at the miles.
Yeah. That pretty much tells us what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
We got a small circle that we reach out to. It's grown a little bit, and but it ain't far. I promise you, man. It ain't far.
The payouts is nice, but ours has been such a learning curve that we're like, if you look at the payouts, in the past we just been looking at who's going to win all that, not us. But yeah, we look at it more now. We're hoping to bring some of it home.
Yeah.
We've gotten better over the years and been getting a lot of calls. Finally put one all together.
A lot of people say that they look at the distance and travel. And I reckon I'm a little bit different than that because I live on the coast. So my circle's a half circle. So every time I do a contest, it's like, all right, I'm going to be 4 hours or more. So it's like every contest, I'm just going to hit the road and roll.
Yeah.
But I've kind of gotten it where, I don't know, this year might change some of that, but usually it's kind of like 6 hours in my window. But I mean, you never really know. So how did y'all come up with y'all's team name? Because your team name is two parts here. Smoke Brew Mafia here.
That's right.
So give us a little bit of the backstory of how you got the team name.
We've recently dropped the Mafia.
Yeah.
But it's still on the logo. But John brews beer.
Yeah.
And that was the brew side of it. And the other side was, of course, the smoked meats. We started looking at names and trying to come up with something, but it naturally we're at John's house drinking some of his beer and was like, hey, we got to put that in the name.
Yeah.
So
that's how it came up.
Yeah.
And we stuck with it. And you know what? When we first come up with it, it was kind of, we did the Mafia thing because, like I said, we had a crowd with us, man. And we had a crowd that would show up. So, you never knew from contest to contest how many people were going to show up. And it was a lot of fun happening. So we stuck with that. But now, for the last several years, we still have plenty of people show up and plenty of friends show up. But it's just us, and Smoke Brew stuck. And now it's a great name. I think it's a great name now. I really do like Smoke Brew because it says it all. I mean, it says it all you got to say.
Yeah.
So I was curious if the brew side of y'all brewing your own beer or something. That's kind of what I was curious about.
Yeah.
That's what
I've been brewing beer for longer. I've been barbecuing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I had two guys that we started brewing beer with, buddies that still hang out, come to mini contests. They've been to mini contests. And we still brew. I don't brew as much as I used to, but I tell you, Jason, I have as big a passion for brewing as I do smoking meat and competing. I probably have a bigger passion for brewing. Beer is a thing for me where it's a hands-on craft. It's very, very recipe oriented. And so it's very interesting and it's very hard to brew good beer, just like it is competing in barbecue. And so I find it very interesting to try different people's beers. And fortunately, we live in North Carolina, and the beer thing in North Carolina is a big deal. So over the last probably 4 or 5 years, I mean, Jason, I just drink North Carolina beer. And so I can never drink the same one twice, hardly, And
Wow.
it's a fun thing to do.
So what's your favorite North Carolina beer right now?
I'm probably drinking the one that's close to the favorite. Burial up in Nashville has a Surf Wax IPA that's really good. But Wise Man Brewing out of Winston-Salem just have knocked it out of the park in the last few years. And it's not many of them that's not good. And so we were up there in March. Yeah, it was up there in March and it was they knocked it out of the park. Great little brewery. Went downtown Winston-Salem, right near Johnny Young's house, and it's a good place to go to.
Yep. Kind of going to Johnny Young would probably be a good one to bring into the next part of the question I got for you, and kind of back up here the comment got right here about the community and stuff here. And I asked kind of question before the show, but I kind of reach out to it right here. Is one of the things that I have really come to enjoy about barbecue over the years is just the friendships and relationships we made in barbecue. One of the gentlemen that I met many years back, he's passed away now, but I thought the world of was Johnny Young.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. He was a buddy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Him and Pansy went out with me and Michelle to the Jack one year.
Oh, yeah.
And Johnny's out there. Johnny's doing his thing. Ended up getting a fellowship out there at the Jack. So I'm out there cooking, and he is just getting himself a fellowship out there and all this other stuff. And I'm like, man, I brought you there.
Yeah.
Well, we have that on our trailer. It says # Smoking with Johnny. We feel like he's there every time with us.
And, he puts that passion in us. I mean, I don't know without meeting him if I'd still be doing what we're doing. I don't know that I would. If I had never met John Young, we wouldn't be sitting here today talking about this because I'd have quit doing what he was doing. But, John was never give up. Never give up. Always give it what you got and always go get some. I mean,
go get some of what's yours.
Get some of what's yours. And that was what John would say to us. And so, hey, he's the one we try to please. We still try to please him, right now. We're still trying to please him.
I think this comments guy is directed towards him. So
it is. That's a buddy of ours, Robert.
Yeah, Robert was the original third member of this team.
Yep.
There was 3 of us, Robert Lamb and Eric and myself. And Robert was part of it and hung in there with us that first year, next year.
Yeah.
And Robert's a good cook too now. And Robert's cooked a bunch of pork lately in the last few years, but Robert was cooking chicken. Did Robert cook the chicken when he got the first call?
He did.
Yeah. Robert got the first call.
Him and Kevin Gary.
Yeah. Kevin showed us how to trim chicken that second contest. He came up over there and showed us. And we trimmed it up and told us a few things. And Robert did it that way. And
I just bought a Weber Smoky Mountain and we've done it on there.
It was brand new.
Yeah.
We put the bottom on it wrong.
That's right.
Put the bottom piece on it.
Yeah.
We built it in our lot.
So the instructions is truly suggestions, right?
Yeah. Well, if it ain't got the picture on there,
Yeah.
Oh, it was great. It was great. Yeah, Robert was our guy, and he wound up had a bunch of other stuff going on, and just couldn't commit the time. And hey, but yeah, we ask him every time we go or try. We at least we think about it. Robert knows where we're going, so if he wants to show up, all he's got to do is show up. We'll put him right.
So I kind of it's a preload my little question here, but what has surprised y'all most about barbecue? I jumped ahead of you a little bit, but
how technical it is. I mean, you can take the taste that you've got at home, like at home, your family, and leave them at home.
Yep.
Because you're trying to cook, and Tommy told me this. You're trying to cook the best middle of the road barbecue you can.
That's right.
Nothing can define it. It can't be defined by heat. Can't be defined by sweet. It's got to be, the judges can't knock it, can't ding it if you don't define it with anything. It's just got to be. It's got to be pretty, taste good, and be tender.
Yep. And comment kind of told Wes this past weekend, it ain't what you like.
That's
It's
right.
got to be what the judges like.
Yeah.
And you can't give them too much. They
Yeah.
only can judge 6 pieces.
Yeah.
You know, if you can get all proud of yourself and fill that box up, and they're gonna pick up the piece that wasn't as good.
Yeah.
You know, so we've learned that.
I chunked out a few ribs this weekend.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you, if I'd have tried to, I put 7 in the box. If I'd have tried to put 8 or more in that box, I wouldn't have done what I done on ribs. And because I had 7 really, really good ones, I had a few more that were just okay. And I said, that ain't gonna work. We're just gonna put these 7, and you know, that's what's gonna happen. And hey, right there it is. It fell right into place, and yes, that's about it. But barbecue's hard. It's hard now. I'm gonna tell you, it's humbling. It bring you down.
You got our ride home last time was a really good ride home,
Yeah,
but you know, you've had the other ride.
We've had some rough ride homes. Boy. I mean, bad.
So, kind of reiterate what he's talking about here. Competition barbecue is a very challenging. I don't know if sport's the right way to say it, but it is a sport for the most part. But it is truly something other that it can be challenging. It can be very humbling. But what you think is really good, sometimes it's going to not be good, and what you think is not very good is going to surprise you and be really good. So you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt to the degree. But
That's right.
the biggest thing you got to learn to do, and I think that what competition barbecue would teach you more than anything else, is understand what tenderness is.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know that.
And I think
9 years to figure that out, Jason.
Sir?
It took 9 years to figure that out.
Oh, we've got some first place calls.
It's taken a lot of people a long time to do that. I understand that. But
we've got first place calls in every category and over the years and put it together. But you know, this one just worked out for us, you know.
Hey, I mean, you put your time in, you've done good, you had a good cook, you won the contest. I mean,
I think competition barbecue cooks are, you know, we're a different group of people for sure. And but you know, I don't know that I've ever met one and talked to people at contests who didn't have that passion, where you know you can just see they're trying their best to, you know, be the best and want it to be good. And so it takes a passion. If you're gonna do this, you need to be passionate, but you need to be open, because you know it takes a lot of work to get it right.
I think one of the things that we were talking about before the show here, and we've kind of done it this year ourselves, is just relaxing. And I think the situation is whenever everybody starts getting to such a frantic situation, you start just frantic, you start making mistakes and you messing up. And I think the biggest thing you got to do is just be able to get your cook in line, get your timeline in line, get wherever you got to get in line, but you got to stay calm.
I agree with that. And that brings me to the point where I've kind of got John on my page now. And when I say page, literally,
There's a page. There's an actual page.
I always have a timeline, and I go by it, and John will be like, "I'll remember that." You'll practice it, I'll remember, and and I've seen him more than one time, you know, or several times. So, I should have done this, should have done that. But John his game has stepped up. But I see that little sheet in front of him now.
Yeah,
you know, he's highlighting, he's marking off his times. But one thing we've done this year, we've been meaning to do it. When you say you got to relax and change things up, is we clean that trailer out, because normally we go in with every rub Heath Riles makes and everything there. So, yeah, I don't want to go with that. We had too much in the trailer.
Yeah.
So we simplified it and said we're only taking what we practice, only taking in the recipes, and it won't tempt us to pick something up and try it at the end. And our trailer's empty. You know?
Yeah.
It's really empty now, and it makes it simple. And
You can't make mistakes. You can't reach out there and get it.
you can't try something you didn't try.
Yeah, you're only bringing what you practice. So.
Yeah, so that's worked out well, simplifying it and relaxing. And over the years, you know, I don't know if everybody out there knows, I mean, I cook the chicken and the brisket, and John cooks the pork and the ribs. And he crafts his, I craft mine, and I know what he needs next. He knows what I need next. We don't get in each other's way, and it's a true team effort. So it keeps us more relaxed that way.
So go ahead.
No, what you were saying was a comment that Brian Corbett had said on the show a little while back, that he's got a tote. And what he's learned is if that tote starts getting too heavy or too many pieces in the tote, you can't close it up right, his scores go down.
Yeah,
that's right.
When that tote's kind of where everything he's got goes in that tote, if the tote stays like it's supposed to, he said his scores is level or going up. He said, but when he tries to put something else in there, because he said he's the worst in the world to go to contest and be like, well, I'm going to try this rubber here on one rack of ribs. Well, that might be the rack of ribs you need.
That's right.
That's right.
I got my tote down to one of them little yellow and black ones. The smallest one they made. I got my injections, my rub, and sauce, everything in one little tote, and that's it. That's it. I ain't bringing nothing else.
And I'm glad.
Yeah, you are glad about that. Eric's glad I got the paper. I mean, the paper has been a theme this year, and I don't know that anybody else could look. I showed it to Brian after the cook down there Saturday. And I don't know that anybody could figure out what's on that paper. I'm the only one that could decipher the way I put it in the Excel because it ain't in no color.
It's hieroglyphics.
Yeah,
but at least it is cheap.
Oh, I would say, I've said this on the show, one of the biggest and most important things of cooking, not just competition, cook at home. Is to take notes.
That's right.
Take notes. Get you a little, one of the little surveyor's books.
Yep.
And you go in there and you just, when you're cooking something other, take notes. If you want to improve on it, cooking a steak, whatever, just take notes, because you'll be amazed when you look back at notes, because you taste something that's really good and be like, well, this is what I done here. What rubs you use, whatever you got, just kind of just take notes, because it makes a massive difference in the process. I mean, I've got notes for every cook I had back to 2010 or 2014.
I've got an old book of notes. But that comment that popped up while ago, my wife popped up. She's in the other room, and she always has refused to call me a pit master until I I come home with first place brisket, 4 times, 5 times in a row.
180 chicken.
And 180 chicken. And I'm not a pit master till we got that GC. So now I'm legit at home.
Yeah. It's gonna put it on the mailbox and everything.
Yeah, I tell you, man, it is it's a very humbling sport.
But the thing about it is, though, Jason, I would not knock anybody to try to get in it, because if you have that passion and you feel like you're cooking good, I don't care if you're cooking eggs good on Saturday morning, get in it and try it. And sometimes, like, fortunately for me and Eric and Robert, when we started, we had a little team. It took some of the burden of the money off when you get started. But, if you start and you're smart, you take the notes like you're talking about and do the same thing that you've done at home and not change stuff, you probably get off to a good start. And what's really neat now at the contest is you see the backyard teams that are filtering into our KCBS stuff, and they're kicking butt.
They're good.
I mean, they're kicking butt. And
he's coming from backyard to pro.
Yeah,
and he's dangerous. So, I mean, Optimus Swine.
We cooked beside Optimus Swine this weekend, and them boys is
dangerous.
Yeah, you got that right. I mean, they had one little blip on the screen. They would have been right there beating us at this weekend. I mean, they were right there. So hey, it's the backyard team's getting into it. But if you was going to get into it, man, get into it and try it. Go to a cook and hang out if you can. Get hooked up with the team.
If you're going to get into it, I would encourage it. But what I can promise, anybody gets into it, they will meet good people.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's like the reason I'm sitting in front of you, Jason, now, and Brian come up to congratulate us. Scully did, at the end of the cook, because we just wasn't ready to roll out yet. We still hollering.
There was a lot of Ric Flairing going on, baby. Let me tell you.
But Brian said it best. I mean, he said, I know people now all over the Southeast and everywhere. I mean, I could be down close to the coast, and if I had a flat tire, and I would be like, Jason Hardy lives by here somewhere. Right. I could text him, and it's just, you got that network of friends now that you've never had, and I always say you're just going camping with your buddies and you're going to cook against them.
If you call me with a tire issue, I'm 90% sure I got everything in my truck to fix it.
Yeah.
I have experienced a lot of that.
Experience.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing about it is, I mean, we got people. I'm looking at doing the contest out in Arkansas, and I'm trying to line up and probably will line up, just borrowing some drums out there in Arkansas, just doing a contest out there.
Yeah.
And there's people we know all over the place. Going to the Royal this year, we're looking at just getting a group together and just taking trailers and carrying everything out there, and just as a group going out there with the trailer full of everybody's cooking stuff with drums and stuff. So I mean, there's all kind of stuff that's just, it's amazing. This network people we met over the years.
Oh, that keeps me coming back.
Yeah. And it's the only time, for the most part, that we see that crowd and see you and see, you know, I don't see you in any other situation. Mostly it's just cooking. So it's kind of fun, you know, like I ain't seen Jason in a long time. So, hey, there's Jason, and that's good. And you know, it's, that keeps you coming back to it, like Eric said. I mean, because, you know, and you meet new friends like this weekend. I mean, those guys in front of us, Optimus Slime, they're just good guys. And we got done with the cook. We went over and sit, and they had a good shady spot. So we wouldn't sit down beside them. And next thing you know, he's, hey, man, y'all drink beer? I mean, God, that's a loaded question. So, yeah, I drink beer. And he said, well, I got a couple good ones from Williamsburg. He broke out 2 Williamsburg beers that, I mean, I would have never got. So, yeah. So we were, Kenny, that was the best call. Kenny, that was, I mean, we called Kenny on the way home, and oh man, I mean, we called about 15 other people too, but Kenny, we got a good talk with Kenny. Kenny had a good cook. I mean, he went up there, you know, Kenny's the hottest man in barbecue, baby. I mean,
he is hot.
He is on it. So.
Well, I told Kenny when we called him, I said, I think you rubbed up against us the last cook.
Yeah.
We just GC this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely solid. He's cooking solid right now.
We give McAdoo Heights a hard time because he come over and touched one of our smokers, and we won ribs down in Pinehurst, and now it's one again. So he may not ever come back around anymore.
Hey, and that's the thing about it, is the friendships. But you know, you made a comment about us going camping is what it is barbecue. Mm-hmm. The only thing is, we had made a comment one time, said, well, we all just need to go camping.
Yeah.
But we are so personalities, got to stay busy people. We would probably kill each other camping.
Yeah. You got to cook.
Wouldn't get out of each other's way.
Yeah, you got to cook.
Because if you're not doing something other, Shannon with Muttley Crew told me one time, said, "Will you please just sit still?" I'm like, I can't. I don't know how just to sit still. I've got to be doing something, and so that was a funny story.
Yeah,
but
if we all went camp together, we'd probably all have a boat race down the river.
I know, really. Do something. But, but I do enjoy just stopping and doing that. But I enjoy the competition side of it, just every weekend, or not every weekend, but doing the competition regularly, because it's fun to hang out with everybody, kind of just go somewhere. More than likely, we're more than 4 hours away, so we're going far enough away that we can't run home in a hurry. So we're just having a good time and enjoying it, and meeting the people and hanging out with friends. We've done it this weekend down in Sevierville, met some new people. I hung out with some other people, with Radar and with Wes and with Kenny and Adam with Bad Roosters, and Carrie, Hold Your Horses, and probably more. I forgot names. And then seen Sean out there with Contagious Q. He come out of woodworking and was doing awesome down there.
He did good, didn't he?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I saw that. I was like, man, he come in there, and I mean, he ain't cooked in a couple years and just showed up. And
I think he cooks 1 or 2 here lately, but he ain't cooked much. But yeah, he come out there in the contest and come out and was like, "Here, y'all hold my beer."
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. He hadn't forgot anything. That's for sure.
No, heck no. He done awesome. And then Radar done under the radar, just kind of swooped in under the radar and RGC contest.
That's what it does. If he's at your contest, yeah, he's your guy. You better look out.
Yeah, he's dangerous. And then Wes come in there and stole the show, or earned the show.
That's been kind of a trend. We talked about this earlier about how this, I guess it's really this year, it's been a bunch of big wins. I mean, our win was big. Kenny's win was big in Pinehurst. And at Jiggy, there was big win, big numbers, big scores, high scores. And that's happened. And I don't know why, but it's happened.
But I will say this, kind of talking to your point, and this is getting something other kind of also encouraging them to make them out and compete in barbecue. And we've said earlier, it's a very hard sport, very humbling sport. But they said they've been into it 9 years. We've been into this thing for 13 years or whatever. But the information out there today, that you come out here today and watch YouTube videos and go out there and find this information and go out there and take a barbecue class, go out there and become a barbecue judge, you can come out there and save yourself thousands of dollars and be competitive.
Yes.
Now you still got to learn, and you can do all that and get it, and it's going to help it out. But you still going to have to learn to cook the tenderness.
That's right.
Learn to understand that, cook it. But the information you can start out with, you'll save yourself 5 years of beating your head against the wall, and it'll be the best thing you've ever done. So if you're interested in doing this, I would encourage anybody to watch the YouTube videos, go out there and take a class, and then even go be a barbecue judge, and then go cook with find a good friend in barbecue and cook with them, and just kind of get an idea of how to tell when a pork money muscle's done or tender.
That's right.
But if anybody
you might not know that, because if you had never had to do it, I don't know how many people has asked me about cooking pork over the years, and I tell them the temperature or something that I cook it to, not the competition, but just pork, and they're like, "What? I mean, you cook it at 205 or 20? Yeah. If you want it to be tender all the way through, yeah, that's what you're gonna have to do. I mean, so you got to get that." And they're like, "When we cook it to 190, well, guess what? The middle of that pork butt ain't gonna be worth a hoot to eat. So you better cook it."
And you'll learn something. I mean, I used to look for that temp cooking brisket, but people ask me now, what temp do you cook to? I don't even really know.
I do.
I'm trying to feel for it. I don't care what the temp is. I'm trying to reach a certain tenderness, and when it gets there, I know it.
So with the brisket and stuff like that, is basically the same thing. Is when it hits 208, then I'm gonna start trying to focus on tenderness, what I want the feel to be. And that's why I say everything with temperature right now. But with the exception of chicken, somebody can tell me how to feel chicken with a temp probe when it's done. I will be happy to take that class. But we go by basically on everything else. Like once I hit the temperature, now I'm going by feel. Now I want to go by feel. My temperature is just a target for me to start paying attention to it.
Yeah, me not fall asleep.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't want to fall asleep while I'm trying to wait on all, because it's a hurry up and wait game when you competition barbecue all the time. Hurry up, wait, hurry up, wait, hurry up. That's all you do all day.
It's all about what you're cooking on. Everybody's cooking on something different. You got different gadgets that you're using and methods. You're trying to keep this from happening to your meat and that. So it's
a big deal.
Yeah.
Dean, keep an eye out for this online class deal. We got something other that kind of in the works. We're going to try to put together. It'll probably be in the fall, something other later in the year, but we're going to try to put something together for that, and might do something even different, but just keep an eye out for that. But we're definitely doing something. In the meantime, check out YouTube videos. We got a bunch of information on there.
Jason's YouTube stuff is great. And, some of the stuff that's on there is so close to what Jason's doing. I mean, so close to what Jason's doing in competition that you probably take some of them recipes and go right on in there and get with it.
I mean, I'll tell you, the pork and rib recipe I'm running right now is on YouTube video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brisket one right now is not. Chicken's not on there, but a version I've run on there has one I've been running in the past. But yeah, I'm gonna take that pork and ribs out there and come out and use it and compete in barbecue.
When you speak of the recipes, and we kind of put on an old hat, and it's worked. We've you try this new, and you think there's trends out there, and you try this new, and then we end up going back to old school recipes, and it hits.
Yeah.
Yep.
So recipes we were running 4 years ago.
Well, and that's the thing about us this year is we're competing this year, and honestly, every contest we run different recipes for the most part. We're tweaking. It's not completely 100% different. There's some different things we're changing around with it because the test is I want to see, is this truly going to be a flavor profile or is it more of a tenderness game?
Exactly.
And so far, the test has proven it's more of a tenderness game than it's a flavor profile game. But
absolutely, everybody's can be good, but you got to hit the tenderness.
Yeah, tenderness is good.
It is, but I will say that, and I'm not saying just because we're sponsored by them, but it really makes a lot of difference if you start with a base rubs and base flavor profile. It's going to help you succeed. And Heath Riles and stuff out there.
The competition rub that Heath Riles came out with a year or so ago, we and Kenny talked about this when we saw him last time. Was the competition rub changed everything, in my opinion, because it took that main base. You didn't have to worry about what you were using. You could put some other stuff with it, but that one, to me, on pork and ribs, made a huge difference. Huge difference.
It is. I mean, Heath Riles has got some really good stuff out there. And if you're starting out cooking at home and not in competition cooking, get competition rub. It's a great rub for pork and ribs. Garlic jalapeno rub. It's a great rub on about anything.
Yep.
And you go out there and you can get the chicken rubs. A great rub on chicken.
Yes.
Great. Those are 3 rubs.
His rub is somewhere on all 4 of our categories.
Yeah. I mean, it's truly that good. And you can go to other thing, Land Barbecue Store. Got to heck crazy here. And they've got everything you want to dream of competition barbecue.
Yep.
And you can use the same profile at home. And I've said this in the past, and I think the best way to understand what flavors a piece of meat is, take a chicken breast, take a rub, put it on there, and put it in the oven. Don't put it in the smoker. Don't put it nowhere. Put it in the oven.
Yeah, you taste the rub only.
You'll taste that rub only on that piece of chicken and your chicken breast, and you'll find out what that piece of meat tastes when it's cooked.
Yeah.
What does that rub taste like when it's cooked? And then you can start adding other things to it to create a flavor profile. And that's how you can build a flavor profile you want to build.
That's right.
And then you can put it on a steak or whatever else. But that's kind of a great way to go out there and just keep building on top of it. So, I mean, for starting out, that's what I would just start out just to understand flavors. But the biggest thing I think that anybody needs to do to start out, it is number one is just go out there and try.
Yep.
Try. And understand you'll fail or you'll mess up, but you're not failing completely because you'll learn how it's not supposed to do.
That's right. You learn what not to do.
Yeah. Don't let the, don't let it intimidate you, but don't let the fire get out of control either. I mean, one thing you're going to have to do, and I think Tuffy and them said this from the beginning, fire management's a big deal. And it is. You can't let your fire get out of control. I don't care if you're cooking a steak or if you're cooking a chicken at home. Manage your fire. Make sure you know what that fire is going to do when you put that piece of meat on there. That's a big deal for any time you're cooking, and especially in competition. But at home, it's the same thing. Manage your fire, and then the rest of it.
And I'd say that I could expand about it a little bit on that and say, understand what your smoker is, what your smoker's going to do.
That's right.
Understand that briquettes is going to run different than lump in a gateway in a drum. In pellet smokers, you're going to have royal oak charcoal pellets going to burn one way. Recteq pellets going to burn another way.
Mm-hmm.
Weber Smoky Mountains, you'll understand that when you start putting the briquettes in there or whatever, it's going to run differently if the airflow is different.
Yeah, the wind's blowing. Understand fire management for sure.
And big key. Royal oak that's another one that's kind of changed everything over the last few years. Is a bunch of us are cooking royal oak, and it changed things once we was able to have that and have control, and you knew what it was going to do all the time, and the product was really good all the time.
It's going to be a consistent flavor.
Yeah, consistent flavor.
Yeah, and that's consistency is a big deal. And it goes back to the point you were talking about earlier about cooking a hog old school in a cement pit. And we used to have a stack of plywood. And when the wind shifts, you take that plywood and stack it on the side because all the cracks in that cement blocks, you want to prevent the wind from blowing the fire to the other side.
We've done that to our Smoky Mountains.
Yeah, Smoky Mountains. We used to have a wrap around our Smoky Mountains like that.
Yeah, so I mean,
it flame up. Then all of a sudden, this front part that you don't need really hot to get hot, and then next thing you know, the whole front of your hog's messed up.
And you try different smokers. We went through that. Noel mentioned it a while ago. I seen him pop it up. But we started out on the Weber Smoky Mountains. Then we got a 270. That improved us a little bit. We've had.
We started that on the big pig cooker.
Yeah, well, we don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, we set it on fire over at Tilly's and cooking dinner because we didn't have nothing to cook on but that. So I started a little fire in there, and I had it snake weaved in there, and it set on fire. Next thing you know, the whole cooker's on fire, and we had to blast it with a fire extinguisher.
That was
a great way to get started right there. And I was like, oh
So was that the secret to the first place, first call and chicken?
That steam tenderizes the skin.
It's very nice. Everybody should try.
But we've evolved on the smokers, and then I don't know, 3 years ago, I built my own.
Yeah,
and we run mine. I mean, I built my own barrel smokers, and we hadn't looked back. They've done well.
Yeah.
I sold Noel on them. He come over there, and he knows how they work.
Hey,
but
I seen it, and done that contest up there at the campground a few years back.
Yeah.
Right there near y'all's backyard, and was seeing that stuff and good smokers.
I make my own, and they produced. You know,
and we were cooking. You know, the thing crazy part about it is we were cooking on drum smokers. Well, at least one way back. I mean, we had that thing a long time ago. And now to think about it, I looked at some old pictures. I was like, that's like 6 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was way ahead. And there was an odd thing, but now I'm so happy to see all them drums out there and everybody cooking. It makes it, I love it now when you see these drums win, you know, and they're really knocking it out the park. I mean,
for us, but you know, everybody cooks good. I mean,
yeah.
Like you let it get a little bit rainy and misty, and watch out for Brian.
Yeah,
Brian
Outlaws. Whew.
Brian, he likes that misty rain. Scully does. And
anytime it rains, them Outlaws are gonna get you. You don't have to bear down if it starts drizzly rain, man. They're gonna get you.
They're really good cooks. Everybody's running on is good cooking. That's the thing about it right now.
George had a lot of good cooks. Brian did too, but George had a good cook, Twisted Pear.
Yeah,
he had a good cook, man. On that thing.
He had a solid cook. He's cooking solid this year too.
Yeah, he did good, and he ain't cooked that much either. You know, there's another old school guy. I don't know what he's doing. He may be running old school recipes. I don't know, but he's
doing it right.
He's doing it right, no matter what he's doing. So look out when he shows up at the contest. He's right there.
Yeah, just for the record, you called him old, by the way. But y'all watch out for him. No, it's all fun. So let's talk about this weekend.
Okay.
All right.
So going into the contest, did you just do your same thing you've been doing, the same process, kind of your prep work? Kind of went there to confidence y'all can just do there. Did you practice at home over the wintertime? What kind of led to the breakout win?
I guess leading to the breakout win, we cooked in Pinehurst before that.
Cooked in Apex.
I mean, right before that, and John won ribs, and the chicken and the brisket was just very close. I think I was tied for 10th on both of them, but the scores was very close on chicken and brisket.
The pork was at 22nd or something.
Yeah,
and that cost us from probably being in the top 6 or 7.
Yes, but we knew we were close.
Yeah.
We come out of there, knew we saw it and close, and we had a comment card on the pork that we come back and we addressed that.
Yep.
And then I took my recipes to 4 years ago. I'm like, I'm dropping this part of it. I'm dropping that part of it. I'm cooking, brisket I've won with before. And this weekend, I think I was a half a point from my brisket. I finished second, and I was half a point from first.
Yeah, and you almost had, you had another score. You had a 180.
180.
You were so close.
I had 180
brisket.
180 in the brisket.
You had a 180 brisket. But the backstory of the contest is kind of funny, Jason.
Yeah.
We planned to go. And then Eric had told me at Pinehurst, he said, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to this contest in Ayden. I said, well, Sunday ain't giving our money back.
Yeah.
And I said, so, that ain't going to happen. And I said, I think they're kind of close on the teams, too. If we back out, they may not have 25.
We didn't want to do that.
And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want everybody to say, oh, you backed out, now we at 25. You know how people are. They're going to point the finger at you. But I said, well, all right. Then he calls me like Sunday, and he says, hey, man, can't go to the contest.
Well, it ended up overlapping with a family.
Yeah, he had a family obligation. I mean, it was a vacation they were going on. So I was like, yeah, I understand. It's no big deal. I said, but darn, Eric, I don't want to bail out on these boys. They're trying to get jack draws and that kind of thing. And I said, well, let me make some calls. So I called Brian. I said, hey, man, look, Eric can't come to the contest. I said, you got anybody that could help me? I said, because I think I'm going to come and cook. I said, I don't know what I'll cook with brisket and chicken, but I'm going to follow Eric's recipe, but I'm going to need somebody to help me. I can't do it myself. And he's like, I don't know, man. I said, I don't know. But he said, I said, I don't want to bail out to the 25. He said, well, what about you winning? I said, me winning? Are you kidding me? I said, that ain't going to happen. So I'm just going to go cook. But had a friend that was going to come, and he's cooked with us before, and he said he's going to help us, and that was going to be all right. And but then the last minute, was it Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday I found out
called me. He says, "Hey, man,
family thing fell through," and I'm like, I'm all in. You know,
thank the Lord.
Well, we've been. Everybody told us how good you get treated at Ayden.
Yes,
and I was really looking forward to that. And we knew we was going to go see. We can go to Old Colony and see Adam. I was down there and eat and make a nice little vacation of that. So it worked out, and I'd already had my brisket. I already had everything I needed. So we jumped back in and done exactly what we normally do.
And going down there it rained. It was rain. We got down there, but we planned to go to see Adam. My daughter met us. She's in Greenville, so she met us there. She went with us to see Adam, and so we just had a great day. You hadn't seen Adam. I hadn't seen Adam in a long time. We ate. He showed us around. We talked barbecue. We talked competition barbecue. We talked about his plans. And it was just relax. I mean, drop it down. No worry whatsoever. Now Eric's here. We're gonna do good. I don't have to worry about any of this. And it was a great day. Then we went back and we went to Skylight that night, and it was good. It was great. And so had some friends come over, like Terry come by on Friday night, hung out with us, and he was like, "Man, this is gonna work out, man. This is good. There's no worries." And it showed. We didn't have no worries come Saturday. I can tell you that. It was all good. We run the party crowd off at 10:30. You're like, y'all got to go.
Yeah,
I mean, y'all
we're serious.
Y'all go out there. I don't care, but we going to sleep. It's time for us to go to sleep. We got to be up at 5. So we're running them off. And so
as far as the cook, when you talk about the cook, obviously it was a great cook for us, but it just at the end of it, after we won everything, and I told John, I said, well, before we went to awards, I said, that cook almost went easy.
Yeah. Too easy.
There's a little things I changed on the chicken. I called an audible there at the end. I needed to do something to get my skin tender, and I done it. But I believe that come from experience of cooking now, knowing what I needed to do rather than just accept the outcome, do something about it.
Yep.
And so we done that, and we just, since we don't carry everything in the house no more, the cleanup's pretty quick. So we cleaned up and sitting there waiting on awards, and normally we have this thing that we do, John and I, after we've turned in, we try to say, okay, what was our best turn in? What was the best one? Well, let's rank our highest and lowest. And for the most part, we'll get it close. We couldn't get it this time.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know. It seemed like, I think we hit the marks on everything.
Yeah, nothing was wrong.
So we didn't even have that conversation this time. And because we didn't know. So, and it worked out.
Yeah.
I mean, the judges agreed.
So that's kind of one of the things me and Michelle ask, kind of like, will we turn this in next week? Will we turn in what we turned in right now next week? That's one question we asked ourselves. And we'll be honest with it, it'd be like ribs this past weekend. It just they're tightening up on me, and this wasn't the best ribs I've had. And we got a good call, so I ain't gonna complain about that. We done something a little different on brisket, and I don't know that it helped us or hurt us. We won our table, but it was just like a little things we done this weekend. But we turn everything again next week, so we'll do it again next week. But we're not cooking next week, but the next contest.
Yeah,
right.
So I mean, that's kind of same thing. Will we do it next time?
And you find yourself sometimes too when just like the pork score at Pinehurst. Well, I told Eric Friday when we got set up and was, we were injecting, doing whatever. We was done with the barbecue tour stuff. And I said, I'm going to bear down on this pork now. I said, I'm going to give it all the attention I can give it. Because I'm not going to finish like we did in Pinehurst in case we have a good cook with everything else. I'm not going to let that drag us down. I said, I'm going to find a way to make this pork work. And you know what? It did. It worked. I mean, the things I did and the steps I took were right. And then shoot for tenderness. That was the thing at the end when the cook's going on, you're shooting for tenderness. And when you got there, hey, this is what we're going to turn in, and this is what we're going to do. And it worked. We actually made a little audible in the box on pork.
Just because of a comment
card. Yeah. When you look at the comment cards, and it's a lot of talk back and forth about judges, whatever. But I've always had respect for the judges, and especially when they give you a comment card and see what they say. And we took a very, very kind of off-kilter comment that I've never had in cooking and took it to heart.
Addressed it.
And said, all right,
yeah.
that's what we'll do. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I think comment cards are a necessity.
Yeah.
I think they're great. I appreciate everything we give comment cards. I know sometimes it kind of gets on social media, gets a little carried away with them, but at the end of the day, tell me what you're thinking. We're not cooking for me.
That's right.
I mean, I was joking around this weekend. I do my last cook. I'm gonna kind of turn in what a judge told one time. So I'm gonna turn in fried chicken. That's gonna be what I'm gonna turn in for chicken. I'm turning in 6 double bone ribs. I'm turning in 6 whole money muscles.
Yep.
And I'm turning in a brisket with a point and flat and a fatty right down the middle, like I want to eat.
Yes.
My last contest, that's
good.
what I'm turning in. Well, I'm going to turn in what I want to turn in, and I know it's when it may win the contest. That would be funny as I'll get out, but that's kind of just the thing about it is we're not cooking for us. That's the whole point of it. We're not cooking for what we like. We're cooking for what the judges like.
And most of the time, that's a one bite like.
Yeah, it's a one bite like.
One bite like. You better remember that.
Michelle done a dessert both weekends, but she got at 180 and Boss Hog on dessert. And I went there and collecting the trays and brought it back because if you don't, they'll get missing.
Right, yeah, right.
And that was real eye-opening is how little of the desserts they're eating. But you got to understand, they get 6 desserts.
Yeah.
You get 6 cheesecakes, you're going to eat the whole thing. You'll be dead.
I can't imagine that. It's crazy like that. I mean, this weekend,
I'll agree 100%.
It was a good weekend. We had a good group beside of us, Optimus, and then Burn Barrel was beside us from Virginia, Matthew, and we were behind the library, right? That's where they put us back there in the grass, a big old grass spot, had to dodge fire ants, but we were there, and we wound up deeming that crowd the library club, you know. And I'm gonna tell you something, the library club, clean clock.
Got 10 calls.
Yeah, we got 10 calls from those 3 groups, and we all kind of, you know, just did our thing. I mean, it was real. Everybody, they didn't struggle at all. I know Optimus didn't, and I know Burn Barrel didn't either. They were right beside us. They did their thing, you know, so worked out good.
I think it kind of gives a good point. What you were saying earlier is when you're cooking in there and you were saying you're focused on pork. Right. One thing I will stress to, especially you got small teams, single person teams that's just getting started out there, is you got to, when you're doing practice at home, you got to understand when you're practicing at home, you're focused on that one piece of meat. But when you're doing a competition, you got 4 of them. So you be careful when you just focus on that one piece of meat if you're a one-person team or a small team, because you don't want to focus so much on this one and forget this. Because I done a contest and I was so focused on, I think it might have been pork, I forgot my ribs in the smoker. So, I mean, I was dead because I was so focused on this that I had basically just turned my mind off for the ribs. So something to keep in mind when you start practicing how you're doing it, you need to kind of practice with the idea of the entire process, not just that one piece of meat. And I think that's one of the things with cans that a lot of us can kind of get carried away with. We're so focused on one can, one piece of meat, and that's a blessing for it. Because with a stick burner or whatever, you got everything in there, and you practice at home, and you're not cooking everything. Air flows different. So it's a good thing to think about. But at the same time, is you got to understand this is what I'm doing at this time. This is what I'm doing at this time.
I find when I practice in the off season, I'll practice the ribs, and then I'll practice pork, and then if I feel good about what I've done, then I'll practice them together. Because that's what I have. That's my part of this team is that. So I'll practice them individually, but then I'll say, all right, I'm going to practice them together, putting them on at the timeline, follow the timeline, and make sure it all fits because I don't want to get carried away with just doing that one thing. I want to have both of them there. That's the way I've done that for years, at least the last 5 years anyway.
And I'll say another thing about practicing home. If you're practicing competition, I don't care stakes or whatever, get a clock and turn the clock back.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. That clock's going to be on you at the pit.
Oh, yeah.
If you're starting at lunchtime or at 12 o'clock or whatever, set that clock at 5:30, 4:30 in the morning, whatever time you get up and you start with the process.
Yeah, that's a great thing to do. And you need to do that because you just don't want that pressure situation to make you change your mind about what you're doing and get you going, like we talked about earlier, doing something you shouldn't do, and you want to. it's been told and told and told again. Everybody will say it is find something good about your cook and then keep doing it.
Yep.
You ain't got to do it exactly the way this guy does it, but keep doing it. Keep hitting that mark. And when sooner or later, that mark is going to hit. You get a call, you get 2 calls, then you get a RGC or GC. I mean, that's just what it takes. And so, and if you do that cooking, it's crap, then you maybe don't want to do that cooking again. So you got to find something else to do. But find the way to do it over and over and over and over. Repeat that process over and over. People told us that way back, and it took us a while to figure that out.
I guess going back to this GC that we got was, John, me and him go to the wars like we always do. We sit and like to watch people go up there and get checks,
Yeah.
But
we've done that a lot.
Yeah, we've done that a lot. We'll get a call and we'll win a category or two. But and you're always doing the math. All of us teams are sitting there watching it, doing the math, and you're saying, hey, they got 3 calls or they've got 2 now. Now they got this and that. And this time we were in that. We got 4 calls and the big teams. They were getting their big calls, and we was like, hey, we're right there in it. And normally I feel pretty good about the brisket. I'm sitting there beside John, and I'm like, we got 3 calls. And now I'm sitting there, and I felt like it's all on me.
The pressure's off me, Jason. I ain't got to worry about it. I done my part. I got my call.
He got 2 calls.
I said, boy, the brisket better get it here. It's on you.
So I'm sitting there, and I look at John and said, the brisket was good.
It was.
And, it goes through 10th and gets up there. And finally, at 2nd, they call my name. And that's when we first realized, hey, with the number 2, I think we got this.
And had a 180 in one categories. I mean, and it's like, oh, here we go. We're here.
Yeah,
we're here.
So where'd y'all finish at overall every category? Where'd you finish at in chicken?
6.
All right, yeah, 6 places chicken.
7th, 4th, for 2nd brisket, 1st ribs.
Yep, and the ribs was a 180.
Ribs was a 180,
and one tender score from a perfect on ribs.
And the brisket was a 177 point something.
Yeah, it was right there.
So it's enough to give us, 705.
Yeah.
Which
we'd never hit the 700 mark, ever. We'd never. I think we had a 6.
If we had, we wouldn't have been talking about the first GC.
697 or 698, I think was our reserve score in Apex a few years back. I think that was the highest score we'd ever had.
Yeah.
And but. Yeah, we got 700, and I mean, it was over the top. I mean, we were still having a good time with the library club. Atma, John, and them were sitting behind us. Ham Squad was sitting over to the left of us, and
Burn Barrel
was over on the other side. But we were still yucking it up. I mean, it had been a big day from the time we cleaned up to that turn-in time, especially for John, because Eric had to drive home, so I had found every cold beer there was in that cooler to drink.
But we probably looked and reacted like the team that had never been up there and won a GC before, because we were tickled to death.
Yeah, I might have showed myself when we got first place ribs. I might have done that.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you go to a situation, let me change this. If I ever go to a situation, I go to a contest, and I don't appreciate every call I got, I need to find a new hobby.
That's right. You're right.
But I did, what I really appreciated the barbecue brothers and that came up to give us the hug and congratulate us when you said we was way overdue. I mean, I think said it all right there.
I think Brian was more excited, and Noel, and we found it funny that Noel and Alan, Noel was training and Alan was there too, they stayed. They didn't have anything to do with the team much, but they were standing right beside us, and we were like.
They seen our enthusiasm.
They're watching something here, and as it got closer, we was like, and so Noel right there, Alan right there, Brian come running over, Jerry was right there, George and them come running. I mean, everybody, and Matt, all of them, just everybody come running up. So I mean, that really meant a lot. I mean, that really.
It's like they wanted us. They wanted it as bad as we did.
Yeah. That was exciting. That was good.
I mean, it's a big family. We all understand. What it's like to get on that stage.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good stuff.
Appreciate it whenever people succeed in there. Yeah. And you got somebody, like I said, this is your first GC.
Yeah.
Winning your first GC, it is something special.
Yeah.
I mean,
what's funny? We was talking about it earlier before we come on. Was our first RGC was down in Waxhaw, and I think I was a whole lot more emotional about that then I was at another level of emotion winning this GC. It was, I don't know what it was. I this time was just like, well, it's about daggone time,
Yeah.
Before it's like, oh my gosh, we finally did it.
Well, we can.
But now it's like, it's about time we did some of this. I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, you kind of made comments earlier. What you're saying is when you first got your first RGC, it was kind of like you were more than likely in a situation like, how do we do that? We're not good enough to do that.
Right.
Like you were saying today, you got this contest and you sit there and you like, we turn everything in, we can't pick nothing apart. So we're feeling like we've cooked good enough food to win a contest, and then you win a contest, you're like, all right, so I've accomplished it.
That's right.
But whenever you win a contest or you get RGC and you're like totally just caught off guard, it's a totally different conversation. I mean, because sometimes you get lucky. I mean, we got really lucky on our first contest.
Yeah,
GC.
That RGC was I turned in pork that was probably considered burnt, and now like the outside edge because I didn't know what I was doing on the drum. And Eric turned in brisket that was all we could do to get it in the box, and we hit every score right there, and then we RGC. And so it's like, my gosh, man, So,
I mean, I agree. You've earned it. You've put in your time. You you've won a GC. I mean, so be thankful for it. And
man, we are
celebrations on that. You got to just enjoy it. But the whole process for competition barbecue is you got to enjoy competition barbecue.
The shout outs this week and the people who text us and all that was a big deal. I could tell everybody was pulling for it. So that means a lot when you're out there doing it by, just most times it's just me and Eric, family comes here and there, but most times just me and Eric. And so, they really, when they just appreciate us winning and doing good and succeeding, that's a good thing.
Yeah, and my family comes a lot, but, for the awards. But they wasn't this time. But I could feel the love over we got my daughters created a family group text, and they were burning that thing up. So
yep.
Definitely.
I mean, that's pretty cool. So the trophy y'all have there is Grand Champion Trophy. That's made by Ed's Shape Shack.
That's right.
Yes,
that's right.
And he makes some awesome cutting board and products. If y'all are interested in anything he's been on the show before. So he has got some awesome products, and he's got cutting boards like he's got there, and he's also got some ones you can handle around the home and stuff. So definitely check that out.
Shout out to him because this thing here is well made.
Oh,
it'll probably never see a piece of meat on it, but it is well made.
It's heavy duty. I'll tell you that.
It is dang nice cutting board. So give a shout out to Ed. He's got a website and stuff.
I think he had a booth down there this weekend, a little festival they were having. Pretty sure he was set up down there too. He had a bunch of neat stuff down there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations on that.
We love, Jason, we love trophies like this. And you do too. Some of the stuff, you've got trophies and stuff. Some of the stuff is just what it is. But when you get something like this, you're like, man.
Yeah, we got closet fulls of glass.
Yeah, glass and medals and that kind of thing. But when you get little trophies like we got this weekend, it's pretty neat. It's pretty daggone neat.
Yeah, I mean, we said earlier talking about the payouts and stuff here, but I would chase a trophy.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes, sir.
Yes. You get a cool trophy that's unique, like a unique banjo or something like that.
Yeah.
Cutting boards.
Yeah.
We'll chase a trophy.
Yeah.
Definitely chase a trophy in a heartbeat.
I agree 100%.
So we are, I text my family and said, we're going to Kansas City. Y'all get ready. So
I didn't even think about it. Look, Mutt came up when they were congratulating us, and he looked at me. He said, "Well, I guess this means you're going to Kansas City." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't even think about that."
That's right.
All we were talking about was the jack. Getting the jack draw. I said, "I didn't even think about the Royal." And he said, "Well, let us know we're all going." And I said, "Well, man, yeah, we're going." Yeah. I mean, that ain't gonna take nothing but a couple phone calls and let's go. So
I think there's about 20 of us on the East Coast teams.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
That's good.
So,
that's good.
We got a good group out there. Jason, I don't want to start a war or nothing, but I'm gonna tell you, one reason it takes us a long time to win GCs around here is you cook against a bunch of good people all the time.
Yeah, it's like we're always up against the all-stars
cooks out here.
Well, I think one of the things you kind of speak about that is one of the things is for whatever reasons, it's usually just one contest up and down the East Coast.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can split up and get away from everybody because if you want to cook barbecue, you got one contest.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just to solve that problem, and it's not a problem, but to basically spread it out some, we need more teams cooking.
Yeah.
And then we can get more contests. But when that's the reality of it. We need more teams cooking so we can start filling out more contests, and then you can spread it out.
That's right.
And
there's a lot of good contests that are gone that we all used to cook in, that we all love to cook in, that are gone. And it's a shame.
Yeah, I mean, fist fighting in a phone booth.
That's exactly what it is.
What's up, Levi? By the way, Levi, I feel your pain in your trailer getting home. I totally know where you're going with. I ended up putting a 4-inch lift kit on mine, so I wouldn't have that problem no more. So it's going to be a convoy going to Kansas. I think there's going to be a crowd out there.
Yeah, it will be. It's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. Eric is too. Our family's looking forward to it because it's we're going to bring the whole mafia, man. I mean, the whole crowd's coming, baby. And so we're going to shirt it up. You already told me to get shirts, so we're going to shirt it up. Everybody's going to have to go up with the shirts, and win or lose, we'll be noticed.
And John did put. He said he posted this as hashtag unsponsored.
Hashtag unsponsored.
Yeah, that's us. Yeah, so we're looking for anything on the way out there.
Yeah.
And, when we get there, we're good. Anybody wants to help out, join in the calls. Any sauce, rub, you name it. Yeah, we'll take it. We're good. That's right. We'll take a little help. Yeah, why not?
Hey, that's
I'll NASCAR jacket up a bunch of patches and stuff in a second. But
that's right.
Doing the hat special, huh?
Yeah, the hat special.
Doing the hat special. It's a lot of fun out there. It is something that I would say, even if you don't cook barbecue and you're a judge or a fan or whatever, go out there and see it. Because I mean, it is definitely crazy.
Yeah, I say the same thing about Memphis in May. If you ever get a chance to go to Memphis in May and be involved with a team, you go, because it is quite the event. I've been a couple of times and was able to hang out with Alan and them from Boys Night Out, and I mean, it's just quite the show.
That's the whole thing about this is just come out there and be part of the family.
Yeah, that's right.
Just come out there and just show up there. During turn-ins, it might ask you to just kind of give us a break. Don't necessarily get in the way, but we'll still give you all the food your heart's desires to eat. But just come out there and hang out and see what's going on and get a first-hand experience. And
that's right.
You'll meet amazing people. You'll meet them.
And you meet celebrities. I mean, you meet celebrities in the barbecue world.
Yeah, man. They're everywhere.
Yeah, I mean,
people love good food. That's the one thing we got going for us.
And fire.
Yeah,
fire
they love good food, man. So never miss.
Need to make a theme song. Try a little tenderness.
Yeah, I agree. That's right. Everybody needs to have that theme song. Everybody. If everybody try a little tenderness, you might have a little chance to score. That's all I can say.
Yeah, definitely do that.
That's funny.
But it's a lot of fun. We're blessed to do that.
It is. And we're excited about camp. The crazy part about it is, Jason, we don't have anything planned to cook, or maybe till then. I don't know that we're going to cook this summer. I don't know. We're going to do some pop-ups here in Asheboro. So, just cook and do a little pop-up sale stuff just because we'd already talked, not because of trying to raise money, just because we've talked about doing that. And for years.
Greenwood.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know. We got to look, golly,
we're talking about it.
We got so much stuff going on, man. We'd love to pack a schedule full of stuff to do. So, I have another passion in my life, which is live music. And so I go around and see a bunch of bands and stuff like that. And I got a bunch of stuff set up for the summer, and me and Brandy are going. And I don't know that I'm not going to miss any of that. And then we got a big trip planned in mid-July going down to see Billy Strings, and Eric and our buddies are all going. And so I'm going to cook barbecue down there. We're staying at Jordan Lake for a few days. So, hey, man. Yeah, that kind of stuff, it hits the heart. And coming back here competing, it does. But we didn't have anything planned. Just one of the years, we didn't really plan nothing. So now it's just, hey, plan for fall.
Hey, going out to the Royal.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, get it on.
That's our goal.
Yeah. And maybe get a jack draw.
Hey, got a chance to get a jack draw.
That happens. It could be on like a pot of neck bones, baby, is all I can say.
Yeah, it's awesome with that.
Brian says he's going to get it. So
yeah, Brian already put it on us. We're going to get it. He told us that Saturday. He said, "You're going to get it." You're going.
So y'all won the North Carolina Jack Draw contest. Kenny Shields has done it. Well, Brian, talking about historically, you got a team in North Carolina that's first time GC usually gets the North Carolina Jack Draw.
Yeah, he said it happens a lot.
Yeah. So that would not hurt our feelings.
Us and Kenny, it's just between us.
So that's between a lot of people. But so one thing real quick, everybody, I appreciate y'all watching the show tonight. Greatly appreciate that. Do me a favor on there. Go on to the YouTube here and check out the videos that we've been posting lately. We put a video out there about some New York strips. It's a good video out there. It's got some Snake River Farm products in there. So make sure you check that out. Also check out when we posted about the ribeyes. Dang good ribeye video out there. And it's a simple recipe. Everybody's going to truly enjoy it and give it a shot. So check those out. Y'all guys say you've got no sponsor you need to give a shout out to?
We don't, but we have a couple things we wanted to throw in there. Eric talked about building the smokers, and I guess for the right price, Eric probably built somebody one. But they're there. But
I haven't thought about it.
Eric has a device that he's been using for the last several years that he wants to show.
I got my little trick I've used,
and we don't mind hawking it right here on your show.
Yeah, I got a little trick that I've always used on my brisket since I moved to drums, and I owe Kenny one. I haven't cooked with him since then, but his is ready.
You got it.
Bad Rooster, Bad Rooster. I owe him one, but there's several of them out there now. I got some buddies using it.
Are you going to show it on the show? You going to show it?
I am. It's called it's designed to keep you from docking your the ends of your brisket, so they won't get crispy. But it's that I call the brisket sled. Works good for a drum. You put your brisket on it, protects the sides, allows you to rotate it, and it works.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about your edges anymore after that.
Cool. Well, give the information on there where you can contact you about them. It's definitely something other that would be nice to have in competitions.
Yeah, I'll make them at my shop, and I'll anybody wants one, I can hook them up.
Yeah.
Check it out. Let us know. We'll definitely.
The only other thing too to throw out, we want to throw out is the Bloody Mary. I saw a few comments, but the Bloody Mary is a famous thing, Jason. Tradition. And so what we did when we started into this contest world is, we had to do something to kind of break the ice with a neighbor, because sometimes you're beside somebody you don't know, you know how it is. So we offer a Bloody Mary handmade to our neighbor on Saturday morning. 9:30 is when it's done, and we offer it to them. And so when that happens, they either take it or they don't. I've had multiple people say no. The quickest one to say no was under the radar at Waxhaw one year. I walked over there and said, "Hey man, we're gonna do a Bloody Mary." He said, "Nah, I'm good." I said, "You don't like Bloody Marys?" He said, "I don't drink during that time." He said, "So I don't want it." I said, "All right, you don't want it." He wound up winning the contest, so it worked out just fine for him. But we offer it up, and it's become a thing. So it got named the GC Bloody Mary, and it got named that because we didn't really call it nothing for a long time. But then Singletary down in Asheboro one year, he was our neighbor. We offered it up to them, and he got it, and he won. He won down there that year. And we come back and say, "Oh, it's the GC Bloody Mary now." And it's hung in there ever since, and we've never gotten the GC. So now it's finally gotten its name right.
Yeah,
we got the GC on it, and it is, it's a great Bloody Mary. It's Zing Zang and Tito's and stuff, and other stuff that goes in it. And we make sure, and so we have people come by a lot and get them, and we've offered it to everybody. And if Brian's at the contest, that's the first thing he says to me. Brian always says 9:30, right?
Yep. Brian's everyone. I'll see him on there.
Yeah, he's there. So the Bloody Mary's become a thing, and we just felt like, hey, give it to your neighbor. Try, like I said, break the ice, be friendly, be neighborly. And I tell you what, Jason, you would not believe the amount of calls that people who've drank that Bloody Mary has had over the years. I can't even count how many it's been. I mean, it's a
Voodoo Bloody Mary.
Yeah, it's voodoo, man. It's crazy. We had a guy cook side of us at Apex who had never cooked. And we gave it to him, told him that story, and he got a third place pork, and I thought he was going to jump.
I don't think he's cooked since.
Yeah, I don't think he's cooked since. This is it.
He's probably the smartest one of everybody.
Yeah, he's smarter than all of us.
Come out there, succeed, be like, all right, I've accomplished my goals.
I'm done. Yeah.
But anyway, the Bloody Mary is a big deal. I like to talk about it because now the name is set. GC, we got our GC. Boom, there it is. Bloody Mary could never change the name. You know, it's not a hex on us. So that's good.
Well, we might need to do a video making it.
I'm down with that. Yeah. I don't have no problem. Maybe everybody will start making them then.
I made one Bloody Mary, and I was drunk from duck hunting and trying to make a Bloody Mary, and the guy politely told me to stop because I was ruining in the Bloody Mary.
Probably good advice.
Yeah, stop.
Yes, he said you just need to stop because you're not doing it right. So he old timer made them, and we went duck hunting.
Yeah, it was all good. 9:30 is the time. That's a settle time. That's what I call it. You got to settle in now, boy. It's on. Settle down.
Yep.
Yeah, Brian, that's probably more important.
Oh,
man, tell you what, your little boy is growing up, man.
Oh, he's tall now. Ooh.
I know. I seen that on Facebook. I'm like, he was putting fertilizer in his boots. Man, he would crazy.
That's it. That's about half the recipe right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you.
It's fun. It's fun to do, and I enjoy it, and I enjoy them anytime, you know. So like this weekend, we're heading to New York. At least I am, to see some friends and Brandy's friends up there. And the guy, Matt and Amy, are going to see. Matt has made the Bloody Marys with us. He cooked with us one year. Matt is over the top on making Bloody Mary. I mean, it's so good. So I am highly anticipating this weekend the Bloody Marys.
That sounds awesome.
We'll go up there and cook ribs for them up there in Long Island. So we'll see if I can, you know.
Yeah, barbecue is taking us.
Cook ribs. Yeah, cook ribs again.
We actually cooked right before this. We cooked for Ricky Skaggs.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Really?
Yeah, he was here in Asheboro. His son lives here in Asheboro, and they came and supported his new EP they put out. And this lady who owns a really nice restaurant in Asheboro called The Table, she you know, her and Eric are friends, and they want to know if we cook pork. We've cooked for them before, and we said, and Eric calls me and said, John, you want to cook some pork? I said, I don't know, man. He said, you want to cook some pork for a bluegrass legend? I said, well, now we're talking. Wait a minute. It ain't many of them left in this world, so I got it narrowed down to who it is. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it was great. We got to meet him. Him and his family just super nice. Just over the top nice, man. Great.
And I think that's the thing about this barbecue family, that the people you meet from all over the place is just amazing. Just like Levi down here. He's cooking right beside me down there from Colorado. And I mean, we had a blast together, just having conversations, just hearing some different perspectives and different stories and stuff, and chasing points and stuff. And I mean, we might have kept him up at night, because our little spot and radars was probably a loud crowd.
Yeah.
We had some good stories to share one day about that one, but
it was funny. Saturday, Optimus, he said, yeah, y'all had some friends leave about 10:30, 11 o'clock last night. And I went, yeah. And he said, yeah, I know. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, it's definitely we get to have a good time and enjoy it, and come out there and just be part of it.
Yeah,
and the people we meet is absolutely amazing. Truly is amazing.
It's good. Can't wait. I'm excited about Kansas City. The more and more I think about going out there, the more and more I'm just, have to contain myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
it's taught me out of Thursday, guys.
Do what now?
You taught me out of Thursday.
Taught you out. You get there Wednesday.
I'm not going until Friday morning.
Yeah, your mind.
No, man. That's the problem. Yeah. I know my limits. And if I go out there on Thursday, there won't be no limit. So I'm going to roll in there Friday like our normal cook, man.
All right. I'm telling you right now, you are making a very bad decision there.
I'll be there before then.
Eric will be there. He'll be there. I'll
Y'all
do my
need
hair
to-
Yeah,
Do
me and my
what you
wife
gotta
will
do.
go in on the RV. So.
I'm waiting for this comment right here because I know somebody's gonna be. You have to be there Thursday.
There it is. There it
I'm
is.
sitting. Like, I know somebody on here is gonna make this comment right now.
Well, I don't know,
and
man.
it is.
It's a
This-
busy time of the year for us.
Now,
man.
Brian
We
said
can't do it.
if we were going, he's going. So
yeah,
we're going.
Yeah. We're excited. We're going to expect all y'all to show us around, so that's what we're looking forward to.
And I'm telling you straight up. All right, if you're gonna spend your time and effort to go to American Royal, and you're gonna make this a trip, you want to go to American Royal, and you need to make sure whatever you got to do, your first time and maybe your only time, like you said, you do whatever you got to do to be out there Wednesday, and you enjoy it. Because Wednesday you're gonna ride around and you're gonna go eat at Slaps Barbecue. You're gonna go around. You're gonna go get the barbecue stores and do all this other stuff. That's what you're gonna do on Wednesday and Thursday, part of Thursday. Going there Thursday, you're gonna get set up, and you're gonna be at all those 500 barbecue teams and having the barbecue parties and meeting people from all over the world. You'll be in there on Thursday, and on Friday you're gonna start focusing on your ball game, and then on Saturday and Sunday you cooking. Then Monday you're gonna be leaving out Sunday night and Monday driving home. But you do what you got to do. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if you do not come on that Wednesday and get down there on that Wednesday, then you can't complain about nobody warning you that this was a failure of information.
He's getting warned right now.
Yeah, I can see a bunch of warning signs now. I have to see what I can do, man.
Everybody in here, text him the importance of being there on Wednesday.
I think he'll come through. He'll come through.
We'll see.
But seriously, me, all jokes aside, it is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But I would, if I'm gonna go, the first time I'm gonna go, I would go down there with intention of having a good time and enjoy it, and just soaking it all in, and do that.
Afraid of. That's what I'm afraid of, Jason.
If you're not afraid of it,
Yeah, I the world that I've lived in for a long time, that tends to get out of control sometimes. So I know my limit, man.
Yeah.
Eric knows too. I mean, he's seen that side.
dude, give
Hey,
you
look. You know he's about. So what's going to happen?
That's right,
This is
Noel.
the whole part of it right here. Noel is Blister Barbecue's going to the Royal, and so Blister Barbecue stands for Eric.
Noel knows.
Noel knows. So
Here's the story. I always get there early. I get set up, and Noel comes by. And, where's John? I said he'll be here at 4 on Friday. And Noel says after the work is done, a blister shows up, and he calls John Blister on Blister Barbecue.
It happens a lot.
Yeah,
But what they don't know is the work that was put in the week before and everything else was
we had
a lot of
prepared.
work.
Yeah, we had it prepared.
So
I get it, but Brian Corbett, can you please help straighten these guys out? I'm gonna put that in your hands.
Hey, I'm gonna be.
he's gonna be there.
I'll be there.
Eric's there at the whole front. Yeah. And hopefully the trailer's gonna be there. My dad has volunteered to drive the trailer out. So.
I'll be
Trailer's
there.
leaving early.
Just like Noel said, I will be there, set up and ready.
Well,
Yeah, Blister show up on Friday.
it's a lot of fun. It's one of them things you would
I'll see.
totally.
Like, it depends, man. It's a rough time of year for us. That's right in season. It's tough. It's the wrong time of the year. If it in October, it'd be a little better.
You'll be
End of September's tough, man.
Okay. All right. So, just forewarned. You do what you got from now
I'm
till
with you,
then.
Brian. I'm with you.
You got
It'll be
from
the
now
same
till
Brian-
then.
It'll be Brian's look from Friday when Eric walked into the cook's meeting and turned around and said, "Because I didn't tell Brian that Eric was coming," and he's like, "Well, what are you doing here?" It'll be the same look at the Royal.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. But
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a
seriously,
lot.
it's a lot of fun. I would say
It
anybody go
is.
to
It's
it.
a lot of fun. You might, if you don't make it fun, then you're backing up, man.
But you have between now and then to plan your schedule out for seating.
I know. I'm gonna do my best. I'll do my best.
Yeah. All that being said, appreciate y'all watching tonight. It's been a great show. We'll been blessed to have some great conversations here and learn some cool stuff. And y'all all heard us trying to pull them in to go into the Royal. So everybody on here, keep messaging them every day until they commit to it.
Yeah. We're in. Jason, we appreciate you having us on, and we appreciate your show. We appreciate you what you're doing. Your videos are amazing, and anybody that's out there wondering about cooking barbecue, check out Jason's videos. They are fantastic, and I'm telling you, some of those videos are right where everybody is, and you can take those videos and make some of the best barbecue in the world, and some of the best food in the world. So
cool.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Well, I'll pull y'all down. We'll end the show, but don't go nowhere. So
all
I'll
right.
pull y'all down and stay on there.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for watching the show. We appreciate that. Tune in next week. We have another cool guest on there. Another great show. Again, check out my YouTube videos. Check that out. Like, subscribe to our channel, and share this. Also, if you like this, we got this on podcast where you can go over and see all our old episodes on YouTube Music. Look up Barbecue Roundtable. See y'all next time. Appreciate it.